When I heard that Joe Kahn, someone I knew from college, was not only running for Attorney General in Pennsylvania, but that he had also helped lead the fight to stop Donald Trump from subverting the 2020 election, I had to get the whole story. What I didn't expect was that the story would have some eerie parallels to one of my favorite movies, and that his main lesson for how to beat Trump would come down to one line from that movie. So, let's back up. In January 2020, Joe was the lawyer for Bucks County, Pennsylvania, maybe the most critical swing area of one of the most critical swing states in America. Then something weird happened.
This was the first time that Democrats had control of the county government in about 40 years. But all of a sudden, within a couple of days of being on the job, I got this letter from these people threatening to sue my county. And then we needed to purge people from the rolls.
And when Joe started digging, it turned out he wasn't alone. And there was one common thread that tied these counties together.
Sure enough, these other counties that had switched from Republican control to Democratic control were getting these threatening letters from this group I'd never heard of called Judicial Watch, saying that we were going to get hauled into court if we didn't do what they wanted us to do.
Judicial Watch is a far-right organization run by a guy named Tom Fitton. He's an interesting character you should know a bit more about.
Tom Fitton is someone who is extremely influential. We know that he in part co-founded Groundswell with Ginny Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's wife. And Groundswell is this group of high-powered conservative activists. And we know in the lead up to January 6th, months before the election was even over, Fitton and others were already exploring some of these legal maneuvers to overturn the results of the election. He's someone who Trump was listening to. So Tom Fitton had his hands in a lot of different plans that were playing out.
At the time, Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch were pretty coy about all this.
Well, they didn't mention that in the letter. They claimed that they were some kind of watchdog and that they were all about election integrity. And they said, oh, look, we'll make it easy. If you just purge X number of people from your roles, we'll go away. We won't sue you. And so that was the first time that I realized, well, wait a second. They're trying to bully us, right?
Now is probably a good time to bring in that weird movie connection. In 2002, M. Night Shyamalan created the movie Signs, about how an odd series of signals started appearing in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, in the run-up to a full-scale invasion by deranged aliens looking to destroy us all. In 2020, Joe Kahn was the lawyer for Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and saw a series of signals foretelling a full-scale invasion by right-wing nut jobs looking to destroy us all. So Joe realized that he had a War of the Worlds level fight on his hands, and there was only one way to survive.
That was the beginning of me saying to my colleagues in other counties, listen, we better work together on this, right? Let's all punch back with one fist, right? Because as a lawyer, there are times when you need to negotiate and you need to compromise. People's right to vote, that's not one of those areas where you can compromise. We're going to need to hold the line here.
Banding together and fighting back hard, punching back with one fist was the key, making sure that they took on every single attack.
It really proved to be the foundation of what we had to do all throughout 2020. We knew that we had to be ready for what was to come, which was an onslaught of completely bogus challenges that were brought for the purposes of disenfranchising Pennsylvania voters.
By the way, the leader of the right-wing attack was, of course, Rudy Giuliani. And since we're comparing everything to the movie Signs, do you remember when Giuliani's whole head began melting?
We had a federal judge overseeing the election. This is old.
Is he actually an evil alien? Let's get to that one line from the movie that I think ties this all together and gives us a lesson for 2024. Joe explains that we beat them last time because we were coordinated, prepared for anything, and ready to team up with any allies who could help.
We knew that there were these claims that were going to be coming. And this is why it was so important that we had this team together where we were all talking so that the minute that one of these claims hit, we could expect, because they were coordinated. And so we needed to be coordinated too, right? It was war games. We were preparing for all kinds of things that could happen. We always were basically bracing for the unthinkable and the unimaginable, because Trump was unprecedented in the way that he abused his power. It was also really important, I should say, that we were really successful because we had a really good working relationship, believe it or not, with both the Democratic and the Republican parties. And so after the election, you had the chairs of both parties writing a joint op-ed saying there was no voter fraud in Bucks County.
But the key thing, and the parallel to the movie, was that they were prepared to fight hard. They were prepared to swing away.
I think what he was told to do was to swing away. right? And that's what we did in Bucks County. And, we took that baseball bat.
Merrill, swing away.
And that's the lesson for 2024. Trump and his minions are better prepared this time, and election experts expect that their attack will be even worse. We need to be coordinated. We need to be prepared for the worst. We need allies, including sane Republicans who still care about protecting democracy. And then we just need to swing away.